My favorite gear company has done it again, Peak Design, and this year's travel line. This multi-part series is going to do a deep dive into the product, the 45-liter backpack, the various cubes and pouches to see whether it's worth it. As a photographer, as a traveler, does it meet your needs? Does it meet my needs? This is my honest review of the travel line, so let's jump in. Today we're talking about new cubes and answering your questions with a Q&A. Hey guys, this is Will from Going Awesome Places. So I've actually had the Peak Design travel backpack for about 3 months now, and I've taken on short trips, long trips. There's a lot that I've learned along the way, and there's some questions I know you guys have, and I got some new goodies that I want to share with you. So I'm gonna grab a seat, let's jump right in. So I started talking about the backpack while I was at the airport, but then I got interrupted. I had to move to a different seat, and in the end, I ran out of time, and so that was that. And we're back. So this trip to New York was a really great opportunity to try out the new different pieces that I got from Peak Design in the travel line. And ultimately though, this video is about you guys. You guys have been great in terms of watching the videos from the playlist, asking a lot of questions, and I've been wanting to put together a video that really gets down to the details of, is this bag actually worth getting? I've done short trips, long trips. I've learned a ton along the way, as I've mentioned. And so I'm gonna be doing this in a Q&A style, the things that I really wanna share with you, answering the questions that you guys have had along the way, and things I think you guys really need to know about. So why don't we start off with the biggest addition to the backpack, which is the medium-size camera cube. You'll notice that I have it set up here at the bottom. This is the standard configuration. It takes up 2/3 of the slots of the backpack. This top slot is open, and it comes with, as you can expect, a lot of different dividers. You got long ones, you got small ones here, and ones here that are the step style or the shelving style dividers, and they work really well. So you can configure it any way possible that works for you. I have it so that I pretty much have this open space here. I needed it for the city because I wanted to put some big things down here, maybe the drone or some other things like a rain jacket or something. I wanted it controlled here at the bottom, so I just kind of made it work, but I just stuffed all the dividers here at the bottom. Worked really well. Oh, and there's this cool one here, and this one's the accessory kind of piece that's on serious Velcro here, and here you can put things like memory cards, batteries, and you stick them on the side, and that's really helpful. But really what I learned about this bag is that, or what I learned about this cube rather, is that with a 2/3 configuration, I kind of liked it, because when you compare it to the small camera cube, which only takes up one side, you don't have things kind of in awkward positions here on the other side that's not part of the cube. So I was constantly trying to figure out where to put stuff. Now, the versatile part about the medium cube here is that, like, I can have my camera gear maybe on one of the areas or one side because I want to access it from the side, but then everywhere else I can configure it in a way where I can put things and it keeps it nice and organized. And I think that's a big key for me. It's mounted on 4 points, as you can tell, and that was a little bit different from what I expected. I thought there'd be 8 mounting points, so 4 here on the back side and then 4 on the front side to kind of keep it really together. Never really had any issues with it really shifting around, so I think that's okay. There's no real issues there. The last thing I want to share with you is really, you don't really get to see in the videos kind of what it looks like to open the backpack with the medium camera cube, and it works okay, but there's some things you need to know about. So if I open it up this way, and this is my preferred side to access my camera gear, you have to deal with basically double door openings. So you have one door, second door, and then you get your camera gear. There's no way to kind of Velcro this together or mount it somehow or slip it underneath, tuck it underneath. You can't really do that. So you get this opening, you get to your camera gear, works pretty well. But just something that was a little bit different than what I was used to, I guess, with the everyday backpack. And with the way that you set up your dividers, the way it Velcros onto the sides of the camera cube, you're gonna possibly have some awkward situations with the other side of the backpack. So the way I have it set up on the other side looks like this, where I have it completely shut. Because I have dividers that are touching this side, so it doesn't make sense for this to be openable. And that's just something I learned to have to deal with. And that's fine because I usually like to get to my camera gear on one side anyways. But so you know. All right, so the second thing that I got to test was this. This is the small packing cube, and you can see that it is literally half the size of the medium packing cube over here. And it has pretty much everything you expect from this. It's an exact replica of the medium packing cube, but half the size. Down to the level of it has its own garbage kind of, or sorry, not garbage, but dirty clothes compartment here on the back side. Nice material, it's compressible, it's got a handle here at the bottom. Works really well, but I kind of have some problems with this. I thought I would really like this, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. You have to see that, you know, looking at the bag this way, you know, you can't really put shirts going across this way. It just doesn't really work, or any piece of clothing that could work this way. So when you're looking at a rolled up t-shirt, you pretty much have to pack it this way. So opening it up, put my shirt in, and this is pretty much what I got. And I could stack maybe 5 different t-shirts in here to make it work. It just didn't really feel like an efficient use of space, as opposed to this, which is naturally that size and it's a square shaped. It just kind of worked out really well. This was just elongated and awkward. So what I ended up doing was taking socks and underwear and putting it in here in a way that worked. But at the end of the day then, it just seemed like I was using it as a stuff sack, and I might as well be better off with a regular stuff sack instead of a packing cube like this. But I could see this having its uses because it takes up 1/3 of the slot for the Peak Design Travel Line backpack, that it would work well with the, I guess, small camera cube on one side here, and it could drop it in on the other side, so they would balance each other out on the bottom and it would work. But if you're using it in a suitcase, I don't know, it was a bit counterintuitive as a packing cube clothing organizer. So just my 2 cents, but now you know. Oh, and I know, not part of the Peak Design Travel Line, but this guy here, the new capture clip, upgraded from the V2, is really good. You should definitely get it. Definitely get it. Oh, one more thing I want to show you. Guess what I got? The 5-liter sling. Now, I'm not going to talk about too much about this product. I was super happy with this. Fits in here at the top. Got the camera cube down below. This is a wicked city day bag for my camera gear. So what surprised me the most? I mean, if I gotta boil it down, I'd say the rain cover really impressed me, actually. I actually had to deal with a bit of rain in New Zealand, and it was as easy as advertised. I literally, as I had my back on, flipped it out, pulled it on really quickly. It worked out just really, really well. The second thing that surprised me was really, I wasn't sure if I was really gonna like the black material. I've never really been much for, you know, blacking out everything. But I mean, it's a really nice material. It's really incognito. It doesn't really look like a bag from any specific brand. And I know a question you guys have had about cleanability of the material. It's gotten quite dirty. I just have a wet rag here. But you can get like dirt and things off pretty easily. I'd say it's very similar to the everyday backpack. It's pretty easy to clean. I haven't really had issues with it. So those two would be the big surprises for me, I guess, rain cover and the black material. Really like it. So the most commonly asked question has to be, how comfortable are these back straps compared to especially the everyday backpack? I've really taken this through all sorts of different conditions, from hiking the Tongariro crossing, if you haven't seen that yet, in New Zealand, hiking through the city in, you know, a place like New York City for an extended period of time. Overall, I gotta say, what I've been saying to everyone is that, like, it's an improvement over the everyday backpack in that, yes, you still got the sternum strap, but I love, you know, the side straps that it has here, that the fact that it's padded, it's just covers more surface area around your waist, and that it even has a good one to begin with compared to the everyday backpack is a huge difference that helps distribute the weight load. Now, if we're talking about the actual pads on the shoulder straps, it's thicker than before, but not by much. And I'd say that by using this a ton, that the foam on the back straps are continuously compressing, and that, like, it's getting more and more dense, less fluffy and bouncy as it was before, because I've been sweating in them. I've been putting a lot of weight on my shoulders through these straps. So at this point, like, you know, it's okay. But you know, when you're carrying that much stuff, you're definitely gonna feel the weight. So you know, if I were to rate these shoulder straps, I'd give them maybe a 6, I guess. Improvement over the everyday backpack, as I said, but still has room for improvement. And if you're comparing it to the really chunky straps of like, you know, the Ospreys and like, you know, big backpacks out there, it's gonna be hard to compare. But so far I've been able to manage and, you know, it's been okay. Ooh, getting to the tough stuff. Okay, so real talk. I'd say the biggest challenge I had with the backpack, and I'm still having to this day, is that as much as people want this to be like a everyday carry / one backpack solution to all your travel problems, it really isn't going to be. And I say that because of the type of travel that I do. I'm the kind of guy that carries a ton of gear with me. I got a lot of camera stuff, and at the end of the day, when you open this up, even with the medium packing cube, like there's only so much you can put in this. Like there are a lot of compartments, I can squeeze a lot in, but then the bag becomes way too big, way too heavy. And then what about all the other stuff that I gotta bring, like clothes and things like that? All my camera gear is enough to fill this compartment and then some. You know, I might have a little bit of extra space up here, and I got obviously the front side that I can open up, but man, it makes it really, really hard. So a big challenge I had was, one, fitting everything in here that I wanted to. I just couldn't, and so I still had to travel with a suitcase. So it was always like this backpack and suitcase combination. The other challenge that I had was basically the juggling of things between the two bags. So when I was traveling and on flights and things like that, I would obviously put all of my tech gear in here to keep it protected and have it with me. But then when I'm using it, let's say with Flying Kiwi on the bus, or if I'm out in the city, I have to reconfigure things quite a bit. So moving some stuff out, bringing new things in with the new medium packing cube, you know, changing up the dividers to make things work. With the 5-liter sling as well, that adds another layer of complication. But you're constantly trying to figure out, like, where am I gonna keep some of this stuff? What am I moving out, putting back in? Moving stuff around just to make it work. So for me, I'd say at the end of the day, the challenge is really just with packing. And it's really not, I mean, truth from me is that this isn't going to be your one bag solution. Unless you're going on a really small trip, in which case I can see it working for like 3 days, 2 days. But if you're going on an extended trip, like multiple weeks, like I was in New Zealand, it's just not gonna work. And you're gonna need another bag to supplement what you have here. Still love the bag, but it's just one of those challenges you have to deal with. Have I changed my mind about anything? I think all of my videos ring true, from first getting the bag and my first impressions to now actually using it for 4 months. If I have to say anything that has really struck out in terms of my videos, or what has changed, is really realizing how the handles suck and continue to suck. And I've talked about this in my other videos before. So, you know, the fact that the handle isn't here at the top, it's here on the back side. So when you're pulling, it's an awkward angle. If the bag is laying flat like this, you're either gonna need to do a 2-hand operation, but there's no real easy way. Like sometimes I'll just grab it from the side to lift it up, but I don't really like these side handles because they're so flat and they don't have a lot of chunkiness to them to really grab on. They're really thin. That would probably be my biggest thing in terms of whether I've changed my mind about anything. Yeah, really these handles continue to not be great for me. Has the bag shown any wear from use? I mean, New Zealand really was, I really threw this bag around from the bus to the campsites to the hiking that we did. But overall, I gotta say, like, it's held up really well. With the yellow, you know, wet rag, I was able to get a lot of the dirt off. But it did get dirty, especially on the front side. It's not that slick of interior. It's very textured, which is why I think dust and dirt get trapped here. But it's held up pretty well, no rips or anything like that. I've really abused the bottom side of the bag, but as you can tell, it's lasted. I'd say no rips either. So that part has really held up its end of the bargain. I think the only wear I talked about earlier, which are the straps. So I'm really putting a, them through a lot of weight, and so the straps have started to compress. And the handle here at the top, you can see, it's hard to tell here, but the threads, I can see some threads opening up. I don't know if that's because just me like grabbing it all the time, or it was just like that when I first got the bag, but seeing some wear on the top handle. Everywhere else, yeah, not too bad, not too bad at all. Okay, most used feature. I mean, the obvious ones are, capture just worked out really well for me on the strap, but that's no surprise. It just works really well. So that's no different from any of the other Peak Design backpacks. I'd say that I've been really happy with these, I call it the sunglass holder pocket here at the top. Really easy to grab out. So I got my Maui Jims here. Put them out, put them back in, really easy, and it's the perfect size. I learned that you should probably have a case like this in here, because one time I got sand in there and I got really paranoid about my sunglasses and it scratching up. So do that. The other most useful feature, I guess you could call it, is something that Peak Design talked about at the beginning, which is, when you're using this bag and on the front pocket, I always keep this front one open. And the reason for that is that because this is all my quick access type of stuff. So I don't need to open the bag fully. I just open it up just enough to access the top, and I can get things like my camera battery. So that's always easily accessible. And lastly, I'd say really the side wings, just like the everyday backpack, really easy to get access to my camera, which is really the big reason why this backpack is so useful. So I guess, yeah, those would be the most used features of the backpack. Least useful. Okay, there's a couple of things that I know I haven't even touched on with this bag. The business card holder here on the back side, never used it. I know it was kind of a nice feature to have with the side water bottle holder pockets on both sides, and the fact that the back side has a zipper, a hidden zipper compartment to put more stuff. Never used it. It's a nice feature to have, but one that is easily forgotten, I'd say, with this backpack. And lastly, as much as you think that I use the waist strap a lot, I'd say for most of the travels I've been on, unless I'm doing like hardcore hiking and I pull out the side straps to balance out the weight, I don't actually use them that often. Most of the times the waist strap is tucked inside and I don't touch them, but those are kind of the observations that I made over the past couple months. What's a neat little hack that I learned with this bag? Other than the ones I've talked about so far, I gotta say probably repurposing the use of external carry. So as you might know, external carry is here at the bottom with the rain fly, and it comes with two external carry little cable / thingy doohickeys. And what I've learned, and I kind of learned this from the everyday backpack because I had it mounted there, and I think it came like that with the backpack, is that I could use these straps to basically hold down my tripod a little bit better. I've talked about in the past this being pretty deep, so you never really have to worry about your tripod too much, but if you wanted that extra layer of security and protection, because these bags have on the side, there's a loop right here and there's a loop right here. So I thought, oh, wouldn't this be the perfect use of external carry? So I just loop it up this way, lock it in, and I have it locked here. And so when my tripod is in the pocket, all I do is cinch this up, tie it up, and it's nice and tight. Most annoying thing. So I talked about the straps on the backpack that I've continuously said is not that great, but I haven't changed my mind. I still think the tech pouch, as much as I love the tech pouch is so good, the straps on this suck. Like every time I put this into the backpack, I have to remember to keep the loops on the outside so that I have something to grab on. If I have it the other way, so this is the front side where there are no loops, it's really annoying to grab out. It's hard to explain. Like, the texture of this should make it easy to grab, but because you have a lot of stuff in here and it becomes like kind of an awkward shape, like it's hard to pull out, if that means anything. And these straps just are really shitty. Similar to how the straps here are thin and don't really allow you to have much of a hold. It's the same thing for these guys. Like, they're really tiny, and like I gotta fit my fingers through. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's weird that I'm holding it upside down. I'm always paranoid that stuff is gonna fall out. Yeah, sucks. Why? Okay, what worried me throughout the trip? I'm thinking about New Zealand again. And I think at one point I was really paranoid that I had lost my external carry straps. I talked about the external carry straps being tucked away here, but because the way that the external carry straps are created, they're just like little hook things. They're not really permanent. All you got to do is tug the other way and it'll come out. And that was something that at one point I think they had just fallen, or I thought had fallen out. And so I got really paranoid that, you know, if you just take your external carry straps and stuff them in and hope that the magnetic closing here at the bottom is going to do its job, I wouldn't trust it. I would definitely try to really tie it down inside to make sure it doesn't pop out, or have it used in a different way like I do here for the tripod strap. But that would probably was my only big worry while I was traveling with this bag. I was like, oh my God, did I lose the external carry strap? I don't know, but I didn't, so I'm good. Final question, and another observation I've made about this backpack is similar to, I'd say, the everyday backpack, is that I love how large, like the laptop pocket here is massive. You could put like a 15, 17-inch laptop in here, no problem. But when it comes to documents, all the Peak Design backpacks really suck at putting loose paper inside. So if you have like a pamphlet or, you know, 8.5 by 11 letter size thing, and you try to stuff paper in there, maybe you have a laptop, maybe you don't, it just doesn't really slot in that easily. It's gonna get crumpled, especially if you forget and you put other things in there. It's just gonna crumple all the way to the bottom. And, you know, I thought, okay, maybe the laptop compartment inside, you know, right here could work for documents, but one, it's not wide enough, so that doesn't really work. So the only solution I have, honestly, is really this, like a plastic folder for your documents. One hack, I guess, could be to keep one of these inside your backpack so you can always put documents and paper inside, because it doesn't really have a good built-in place to do that. And it slots in nice and easy. You know it's always there. When you put your laptop in there, you're not gonna crumple all the papers, which I've done so many times with this backpack and the everyday backpack. So that's one little final tip for you guys. So it's been an incredible journey with this backpack, all the way from the Kickstarter days to now. A ton of you guys have this backpack. More people that are probably wondering, is this bag worth it? This Q&A, I hope, really answered a lot of the questions that you guys had brewing in your mind, but also some of the new products that I was able to test on my most recent trip. You know, I really created these videos out of joy for this product as a fanboy, but also somebody that really wanted to give out good, honest feedback, and somebody that just needs travel gear to work and do well. So hope you guys appreciated all of that. If I haven't answered all the questions that you guys had, drop comments down below. If there are enough questions that I haven't been able to answer yet, I'm definitely willing to make another video. Watch other videos that I've created on the Going Awesome Places channel. As you know, I travel quite a bit. New Zealand stuff is quite relevant because you'll see this bag quite a bit in those videos. If you like this t-shirt, YYZ, let me know, and who knows, maybe that could become a thing. But anyways, this is Will from Going Awesome Places. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel, Going Awesome Places. Okay,